Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a really cool fundamental concept in biochemistry. We're going to talk all about epimers and see how one tiny little twist in a sugar's structure can have absolutely massive consequences for our health. So let's get right into it. So here's the big mystery we're going to solve today. You've got glucose, right? That's our body's number one fuel source. And then you have galactose, the sugar you get from milk. Now they have the exact same chemical formula, C6H12O6. They look nearly identical. But one powers our cells directly, while the other needs a whole special process before we can even use it. So what's the deal? Why? Here's what we've got on tap. We'll start by seeing the power hidden in a single atom. Then we'll get a super precise definition of an epimer. After that, we'll clear up some common mix-ups, see these molecules in action inside our bodies, find out what happens when things go wrong, and wrap it all up with a handy cheat sheet to make sure it all sticks. All right, so where does the answer to our mystery lie? You might think it's some big, complicated mechanism, but actually, it's hidden in one of the smallest, most subtle details you can imagine. And there it is. The answer is a concept called epimerism. It's a type of stereochemical variation, which is really just a fancy way of saying there's a tiny difference in the 3D arrangement of its atoms. This one little shift is the entire reason glucose and galactose have such different jobs inside our bodies. So what is an epimer exactly? Let's get a crystal clear definition, because if you can nail this down, everything else we're about to cover is going to make perfect sense. Okay, here's the most important part. An epimer is when you have two sugars that are identical in every single way, except for the 3D setup around just one specific chiral carbon. Think of it like this. The molecule is the same, but at one single intersection, the directions are flipped. And just a quick note, this rule doesn't apply to what's called the anomeric carbon. That's a special one involved when the sugar forms a ring structure. And this brings us right back to our original question. Glucose and galactose, they are what we call C4 epimers. This means if you number their carbon atoms, everything lines up perfectly, until you get to carbon number 4. Right at that one spot, the orientation is flipped. That's it. That one little difference is all that separates them. And we see this exact same principle with another pair, glucose and mannose. They're also epimers, but this time, the difference isn't at carbon 4, it's at carbon number 2. The rule is exactly the same though. They're identical everywhere else. One carbon, one difference. That's the epimer rule. Okay, now this is where things can get a little tricky and where a lot of students get tripped up. You hear these words thrown around: epimer, anomer, enantiomer. They all describe types of isomers, but they are absolutely not the same thing. So let's break them down side by side. This table makes it super clear. So epimers, we know this one now. They differ at just one chiral carbon, like glucose and galactose. Anomers, on the other hand, are a special case, where the difference is only at the anomeric carbon, which happens when the sugar curls up into a ring. And then you have enantiomers. These are complete, perfect mirror images of each other. They're flipped at all of their chiral carbons. All right, enough with the textbook definitions. Let's see how all this chemistry actually plays out inside our own bodies. Because trust me, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's happening inside you right now, and it's fundamental to how you stay alive. So how does our body deal with these slightly different sugars? Well, it has this incredibly smart and specialized toolkit. Our cells make these enzymes called epimerases. You can think of them as these little molecular machines. And their one and only job is to go in, flip that single chemical group, and turn one epimer into another. This is exactly how your body takes the galactose from milk and turns it into useful glucose. And their job is, well, it's absolutely critical. I mean, these epimerases are essential for metabolizing the galactose you get from dairy. They're also key players in building complex molecules like glycoproteins and glycolipids, which are vital for your cell structure and how they talk to each other. Without these enzymes, some of our most important energy pathways would just grind to a halt. So, this brings us to a really important question, especially for anyone studying medicine. What happens when this super elegant system breaks down? What happens when the body can't make these simple little flips? Well, the consequences can be pretty severe. A classic clinical example here is a disease called galactosemia. This is a genetic disorder where the body simply cannot metabolize galactose. The root cause is that the body can't perform that critical conversion of galactose into its usable epimer, glucose. What happens next is basically a toxic cascade.
It all starts with a missing or defective enzyme. That means galactose can't get processed. So instead, it and its byproducts start to build up to toxic levels in the blood and in the tissues. And that leads directly to the severe symptoms of the disease.
And we're talking about serious symptoms. This toxic buildup can cause liver damage, leading to jaundice. It can cause cataracts in the eyes and an enlarged liver. It's a really powerful reminder that a single, tiny biochemical step, just converting one epimer to another, is absolutely vital for our health.
Whew, we've covered a lot of ground. So for this last section, let's just boil it all down into a simple, memorable summary that you can take with you. If you remember just one thing from this whole explainer, make it this little phrase right here. It perfectly sums up the most important examples. For glucose, its friend mannose is at 2, and galactose is at 4. Simple, effective, and definitely something you'll want to remember for any exam. All right, let's put that new knowledge to the test. A few quick questions just to make sure everything really sunk in. Ready? First one, at which carbon do glucose and galactose differ? You got it, it's carbon 4. They are C4 epimers. Question 2, and think carefully on this one. Are alpha and beta D-glucose epimers? The answer is nope, they're not. They differ at the anomeric carbon, which makes them enantiomers, not epimers.
Question 3. What's the general name for the type of enzyme that converts UDP galactose to UDP glucose? They're called epimerases. And the specific one here is called UDP galactose 4 epimerase.
And for our last question, which pair of sugars that we talked about today are C2 epimers? That would be glucose and mannose. Fantastic job. It really goes to show you that in the world of biochemistry, sometimes the smallest structural details make the absolute biggest difference. Thanks for joining us.